All right, you guys. I have another interview with another YouTuber. His channel is the Bushcraft Evolution. So let me bring him in. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine, Jay. How are you?
It's kind of early, but it's okay.
Really early. Yes.
So yeah, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me.
But the first question is, I really don't understand what is bushcraft.
Well, I guess that depends on who you ask. A lot of people look at bushcraft as just outdoor survival in a nutshell, and that can be. I mean, it's a spectrum. So you've got those advanced guys who know everything there is to know about bushcraft. You've got guys like me who I would consider average, and then you've got beginners, and those beginners are guys who were me about 10 years ago, just starting out watching videos, reading books, and learning that way, and then going out and doing the skills that you watch. But I added evolution to my channel, like Bushcraft Evolution, because it's not just bushcraft. One, I've got my daughters in it with me occasionally.
Yeah.
And two, bushcraft is not just about survival. It's, having fun. It's learning skills. And when I say learning skills, it's, learning to live off the land. So finding wild edibles, learning how to make fire, how to collect water, all those types of things while out in nature. And bushcraft has evolved from the primitive ways all the way up to today, where you've got camping involved, you've got survival skills involved, you've got people that are doing these 1 days, 3 days, 10 days. So all sorts of different survival challenges people do. And so like I said, it just depends on who you ask. And
Sure.
some people are going to give you a much more definitive answer, and it's going to be by the book answer, or ones are going to explain it based on experience or, whatever they're doing.
So, yeah. So how often do you go out to?
Well, I try to get out as often as possible. I don't always film because I like to just go out and do those skills. And when I do film things, I try to do things what they call intentional filming. So you don't make as many mistakes, but I do like the mistakes being a part of my stuff. But with bushcraft, there's a lot more mistakes that you can make.
Okay.
Like if you're using a knife or a saw, for instance, you could severely hurt yourself, and you don't want to be filming something like that. So, you want to do a lot of stuff off camera before you are comfortable enough to be on camera to show what you know.
And I did watch one of your videos, and you did say that you almost lost your thumb, but
Yes.
with the knife and carving.
Yes.
And was that luck that you didn't get? It
was very much luck. I don't know. I think maybe I was in a hurry because I believe it was actually Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And I was doing wood carving at that time. I wasn't even involved in bushcraft or survival skills, or I was just doing regular camping. I wasn't filming things like that. I wasn't filming at all. I didn't even have a YouTube channel at that time. And I was filming a bird that was probably an inch, 2 inches. It was very tiny, so it was in my hand as I was cutting. And it's what they call finding the grain. So my knife found that grain, and it just went along with that grain, went right into my thumb, and I didn't cut anything vital.
Oh, that is.
But somehow, I don't know if the stuff moved. I don't know what happened, but it went almost all the way through my thumb, and somehow I missed everything. And it just took some stitches, and
Ooh.
yeah, it was. I think I cut the bone, but didn't cut through the bone. So I got very, very lucky.
Good
And
God.
I called my wife and I just wrapped it up. I actually cleaned up my own blood, cleaned up my wood carving stuff, cleaned up everything before she came to get me. And I said, I'm not taking the ambulance. You need to come and get me. And I'm walking around with my arm up.
Oh, that's brutal.
It was awful.
So how many stitches?
On the front side, I had some internal. I don't know how many was internal, but on the outside, I had like 6. And believe it or not, getting those stitches taken out hurt worse than actually cutting my thumb.
Wow. So it was that bad. They had to put stitches inside and outside.
Yep.
Oh, that's the worst.
It was terrible.
I bet. I bet it was terrible. So how long did it take you to recover from that?
The actual healing of the hand was faster than like using the muscles and stuff. I had to use these, I don't know if they're like silicone. There's some sort of like exercise ball that you use for hands for like.
Sure.
Yeah, so I used those for a while, and it took a long time to get some grip and dexterity. But luckily, I'm not left-handed, so I didn't have to use that hand as often, so I could take my time nursing it back. And now I'm full strength, full everything.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. So, when did you get into all the bushcraft and filming?
When did I start the channel?
Yeah.
I started the channel in 2021, I believe. So it's been 4 years and slow growth. But,
yes, of course.
But it's not full time for me. And like I talk to Sam all the time. We text all the time. We always are. We're picking each other's brains all the time. And he asks me sometimes why numbers don't matter to me. And it's because this isn't full time for me. I would love for it to be, but I'm not pushing for full time.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if I get there, that would be great. But I'm a full time special education teacher, and I enjoy that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. So my weekends are about really the only time I could do anything, and that's usually family time. I've got 3 daughters, and they range from 13, 8, and 2.
Oh.
So they're all over the age group and have different needs and different wants. Yeah. So it makes it difficult. So, but we do have a family camping trip coming up. We just got back from vacation, but I didn't film that because it was vacation.
Yeah, sure.
We are doing a family camping trip in April that I'm going to film. So not all of it, just part of it.
Nice.
So everybody but my wife will probably be in there because she's not camera person.
I mean, it's always like that. When I see Sam's videos, his wife doesn't want to be on it.
Yeah.
I asked Todd, and Todd goes, yeah, she doesn't want to be on camera too. So I'm like, is it all the wife that doesn't want it?
I don't know if she's camera shy necessarily. She's more of an introvert. I'm an extrovert. Okay. I love people. I'm not saying I love attention necessarily, but I don't mind attention. Whereas she's happy just being home with family and doing her thing. So, and I mean, she's a nurse.
Oh, and, cool.
Yeah. So she's used to being around people, but it's not chaotic. She's not like an ER nurse. So she's very much one-on-one and prefers that. So,
of course, so you mentioned that you're a special ed teacher. What grade do you teach?
I do 3rd and 4th grade. I do reading, writing, and math.
Okay.
And then I don't really touch on the other subjects because that's not really what the kids come to me for. But some of the kids come to me just for extra help, and they don't actually get their curriculum or grading for me. So I just help them. And this is my 2nd year doing that. My first 2 years of teaching was just 4th grade strictly, like general education, and then switched over to special education, and it's so much more rewarding, and I enjoy it a lot more.
And when you mean special education, what kind of kid, like autism or learning problems?
No, I'm in the same area of the building as our autistic classroom, which is across the hall for me. And then the room to my left is what they call essential skills. Those would be more of handicaps of like whether it be physical, mental, emotional, whatever. And then we also have another room that's kind of like the essential skills, but that one would be more like behavior based. So we have all of those classrooms. Mine is more along the lines of you're still a general education student, but you just need that extra help.
Yeah,
So,
the reason I asked why, because I was in the same kind of class that you teach. I was also in special education, but I could not concentrate on work. But I could do the work.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah, I got a lot of kids that there's, I don't know if it's a mental block for some of these kids, but some of them it's just like deer in the headlights. They just stare at you like they don't understand anything you're telling them. And some of the stuff that they don't understand is like basic, like even kindergarten, first graders know.
Yeah.
And my third and fourth graders don't know. And some of them unfortunately can't even read. And that's
okay.
We don't blame any one person. We we always like to say it's environmental. So it could be home life, it could be school, it could be a mixture of both. I mean, we got a lot of kids with rough home lives, and so it's I think that's why I like it so much, because I can't say that I relate because I didn't have a learning disability growing up. However, I've got family members.
Yeah.
Like I've got an older brother who's got cerebral palsy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was married to a woman that had it as well. She's passed away. He's still going strong. He was in his younger days. He was a little more clear with his speech.
Yeah.
He could walk and run. He could do all this stuff. But the older he's gotten, the more wheelchair bound, the more aid and stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So yeah, for me, I know I was really lazy at school. I didn't want to do nothing. I could do the work. But I didn't.
Most of mine can.
I didn't have the motivation to do it. So
that's me with exercise.
Yeah, that was my problem. And you mentioned that your brother has cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
Can I ask what kind of cerebral palsy? I know there's a huge range of cerebral palsy out there.
I'm not entirely sure. He's not even a blood brother. My real father, who I didn't meet. I didn't meet my real father until I was 16, and it was his first wife.
Okay.
They were long since divorced, of course, but she had a kid, and there's stories. I don't know the exact stories.
Sure.
I've heard that he was either just born that way, so I don't know like what type of chromosomal or whatever it may have been. I was also told incest. I don't know if that's even a thing or a possibility. I don't know the
no, that's just the myth people put out there.
I thought the same thing because I've never heard that before. So I've always said no to that one. I was like, that's not a possibility.
Yeah.
That's just coming from
having cerebral palsy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so like I know more about autism spectrums and a lot of types of stuff. I don't know much about his. I didn't meet him until he was already in a wheelchair and already hard to understand. And before I met him, I didn't know anybody with cerebral palsy at all before I met him. And he was already, I want to say late 30s, early 40s when I met him. And so I don't know much about his actual condition other than he's deteriorating, but he Yeah, he went downhill pretty quick, I guess. He was driving and everything, and then he got into a really bad car accident. They literally had to peel his face out of a tree, I guess, because he hit so hard.
Ooh.
And from that point on, he just, he was downhill from there. So
Ouch.
I didn't know him prior to that. I met him a couple years after that accident, so the scars were still there. Like, I know he really did hit the tree. But his condition before that, I guess he was very physical and a lot more easy to understand, I guess. But
So
now,
how old were you when you found out you had a half brother with cerebral palsy?
I was 16 when I met my real dad,
Okay.
and his oldest biological son, and then that's the one who he was divorced from, was that brother's, my oldest brother, his mom.
Mm-hmm.
It was her oldest son that she had before my dad. So I didn't even know about him until after I met my dad and my oldest brother, and then I found out. Then I found out about him, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And I got to meet him, and wonderful guy. And I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but he was married to a woman who had either muscular dystrophy or she had a form of cerebral palsy, but she could walk and everything. And she was very, very intelligent. She's probably one of the most intelligent women I've met in my life. And after they divorced, she passed away. And but she was a really sweet person.
Yeah, that's great. So you've been on YouTube for 4 years now.
Yeah.
How's your experience with YouTube been so far?
Well, I got into it by accident, kind of. I had all the credits and everything in college and was ready to do that, but I had gone a different route and was going to go back to school to be a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got pregnant with our first daughter. I put that on hold and I just did maintenance. I focused on maintenance for like 10 years, got all the way up to what they call a chief engineer for Hampton Suites. So I was overseeing, new construction, the ins and outs of the maintenance department, health department, all that type of stuff for pools and whatnot. And then my oldest daughter was leaving her elementary school and going on to middle school. And the principal of the school, her elementary school, asked if there was anybody who wanted to come in to be a teacher's aide, paraprofessional, or a teacher. I immediately emailed him. Something just told me I had to do it. I emailed him. I said, hey, what do I got to do to get in? And he's like, well, what about college? What about credits? Where are you at with all of that? And I was like, I think I'm good. So we did some digging and found out that I could do it. And so I did it. So I had to do all the necessary behind the scenes paperwork and state stuff and certifications and all that. But it was within a month or so that I was going into the school. So it was a happy accident, but worth it because now I'm in special education and I like it even more than just general education. So,
man, that's wonderful. Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, I love it. It's been rewarding.
Yeah, I bet. I love kids too. So.
Oh, me too. Oh, definitely.
And I have a niece who is 4. She does have autism, but I'm not sure where she is on the spectrum. So,
well, they compare a spectrum to like a bullseye. So you've got, like pretty much anything nowadays. I feel like they say is autism. They put that on everything now. So you've got those that are way out here where they just showed a little bit of signs or whatever it may be, and then it just goes in by layers. Then you hit that bullseye, and that's the worst case scenario with autism. And we've got all of them. We've got that entire spectrum. We've got verbal, nonverbal. We've got ones that are really smart. I get one of them that comes over to my room for 2 subjects, and he's super smart. and he does all of his work. He likes to trace everything that you write. He likes to color everything you ask him to color. He does everything that we ask him to do, and I couldn't be happier to have one that totally understands, and that, you know, if he does get upset, we know if we rub his arm or squeeze his arm or something like that, it's comforting for him. So we've figured out what works for him, and that makes us feel good too, because, you know, we don't deal with him on a regular basis all day long. We just have him for like 2 hours a day, and to understand him and know him is good.
Well, he does sound like my niece. Because my niece, when I tell her to do stuff, she does it. But she gets a little scared when she hears somebody yell or speak a little loud.
Yep. So, yeah, we've got a lot of kids that wear headphones throughout the day. So,
but she's a bright kid.
Yeah, most of them are. Like, ever since I was little, I knew a guy who was, I think he was 40 at the time. It was my very first Down syndrome person that I had ever met in my entire life. And ever since that, his name was Johnny. He was a really great guy. And ever since him, I've had a soft spot for any sort of disability, no matter what it was. And we've got one of those kids with Down syndrome in our class, like not in my class, but the class next to me in the essential skills. And it just makes me smile. I don't know what it is about. Something about the Down syndrome children just make me smile. They just seem so happy. They're just so genuine. And they're always. Yeah.
They can light up a room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So, you're a teacher. You're a bushcrafter, and I also see you invented stuff for bushcrafting, like the backpack that holds your desert roll.
Yeah.
So how did that?
Well, traditionally, you just have a one harness or one strap, and that when let's say you're hiking for 10 miles to where you plan to camp, or you don't know where you're camping, and you're just hiking. So I mean, let's say 3 hours from the time you start. You've got that thing cutting in so deep and pushing in all your muscles, and, you know, cutting off blood, you know, cutting off all of your vitals up here. It just gets cumbersome. So I was introduced to a leather guy down in Mississippi from one of my subscribers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he's actually, when we did our 150 subscriber giveaway, that subscriber I talk to on a regular basis, and he's the one that introduced me to my leather guy.
Oh, wow.
That's who made these patches.
Wow, nice.
So I got some of these for sale. But anyway, so he and I were just talking. I said, hey, I like the bedroll harness. I don't own one. Is it possible that you can make me one? So he did. I paid for it, of course. He has never sent me anything free except for patches for me to sell. So I was wearing it around for a while, and I was like, man, this thing is just, it's not comfortable at all. Even though you get the wider strap up here that goes over the regular strap. Yeah. Even with that wider strap, that would, you know, distribute the weight a little bit more. It just wasn't enough. So I was just thinking, what would make it more comfortable? I saw other guys who would just take a rope and they would leave it long enough so that it could drape around their neck and around their arm and stuff. But I'm like, that's still a rope and it's very thin. Yeah. That's going to cut in even more, and it's not going to feel very good after a couple hours. Yes, it is. So I got to talking with my leather guy, and I was like, hey, what about a backpack? Or you know, something that resembles a backpack. People can carry backpacks for hours. People hike the Appalachian Trail, which is over 2,000 miles, with a backpack. Yeah. That's because of equal distribution. So I was like, hey, let's come up with an idea. So I drew out an idea. He, of course, is the leather guy, so he made it work for him. Okay. And that's how that came about. So that was literally within a month, probably, of me getting the original strap. I instantly was like, I can't do this for hours if I needed to. This has to be more comfortable. So I started eating it with blankets or a sock or something that you would keep in your pack to make it more cushioned, but that just still wasn't enough. It was just weight on one side. And so we came up with the backpack harness idea, and that thing is very comfortable. I could literally probably do an entire day, sun up to sundown with that thing, and maybe minor adjustments here and there, but it's easy to carry and it doesn't feel heavy at all.
So, oh, so did you get a patent on that design?
Well, not yet, because there are other designs out there that I just haven't seen.
Okay.
So I don't think I necessarily invented it. I may have come up with my own design, I would say. But some of the other guys that I talked to in the bushcraft community have told me that they've existed for years, but they're just not as common because people want that traditional one strap.
Yeah, one. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, I get that. I mean, I still go back and forth, but I just wanted something more comfortable and to give another option. And it didn't land like I hoped it would. So there wasn't, anybody really interested. I've got other things coming out from the same Leatherworks guy. I have a spice kit that was made of leather. It's a couple inches wide, and that's going to be coming out here this spring. So it houses bottles, I don't know, about 3 inches tall, that hold whatever spices you want. And then, of course, I do like this Stanley box back here. If you watch that video, I did that tray for it, which is right there, actually. I was adding a little piece of wood to it.
Yeah.
To keep it from sliding off of that. So I'm going to be doing coffee videos with that. I've got my coffee box back here that I did a video on. My chuck box is to my left. I'm going to do more videos on that. I like to tinker, so I still do a lot of the woodworking and coming out to the garage and being as creative as I can, because my area, I live in Indiana, so like my area, which I didn't know prior to, being an adult, is the northern jet stream and the southern jet stream both come in at an angle, and it like funnels right through the area of Indiana that I'm in.
Really?
And so I get all of that bad weather that I didn't even pay attention to until I moved a couple years ago to the house I'm at now. And it's very high winded where I'm at. And a lot of the storms from the city that I was in kind of go around it and now come toward me. So,
oh, good God.
It's a lot worse than I planned for moving out here.
Yeah, sure. And I also saw that you were planning to build a cabin in your backyard.
Yes, I did a short-lived video on that here in my garage where I'm at now. I found these pallets that are like a little over 7 feet long. So I'm taking the pallets apart just to use those 7-foot boards. And I'm going to build, like, it's going to be 8x8 lengthwise all the way around, but only 7 feet tall. And it's going to be a lean-to roof with a little porch on the front. And I'm going to build that in my backyard. So I do have a place to go and film, because we get so much inclement weather here, which is the other reason why I don't film as often as I would like. So I'm doing that. And of course, tinkering in here, I've got a new, what they call a briquette press for making your own wood briquettes. I'm going to do one out of coffee grounds. So I'm always making my own fire starters and everything. So I didn't do a video on building that, because that was kind of just, in my head. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just built it. It's now ready to go. So when I go to make the briquettes, I'm going to make one off camera to show, if I can do it. And then I'm going to put a camera out and film myself making those. So there's a lot that I plan to do, and hopefully this year allows me to do so.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. So, so how did you get to meet the other guys, like Tony, Todd, and Sam?
Well, Tony, I've off and on been talking to for probably, I don't even know what year he had his stroke. It was the same year. but it was later in the year that I got in touch with him. And then we didn't talk for a long time, not because, we didn't want to, just, life happens. And,
of course,
he's doing his own thing, trying to do his therapy with his stroke still. And so we didn't talk for quite a long time. And then I started talking to Sam, and I've been talking to Sam for, I want to say a year, a little over a year now. And same thing that when I watched their interview with you, when they were talking about a lot of these guys will contact the other one to say, hey, let's do a collaboration.
Yeah, of course.
I don't even think it started off that way with Sam and I. I just told him that I liked his stuff, and, maybe later on down the road, once we get to know each other, I might,
Yeah.
And we kind of just hit it off from the beginning, and he's a lot younger than me. I mean, I'm 42.
Yeah.
He and I kind of have the same mindset. I mean, I would love to be as goofy as he is on camera, but that's just who he is.
Yeah.
Normally, that's just who he is.
Yeah, that's his personality.
Yeah, I can be like Sam, but that's Sam. That's Sam.
Yeah, of course.
and I love everything about him. So, Tony, we've been texting off and on, like I said, since right after his stroke. We've talked about collaborating, but that was in the beginning when we first started talking.
Yeah.
And then he's got his thing coming up in May that he's asked me to come. Sam was the first one to ask me to come to it, and I told him I want to. I'm hoping to. And then I talked to Todd. Todd and I, we email. We don't text. We're not friendly enough with each other to text yet. So we've emailed about it, and he may or may not be going. He said Sam definitely wants to go. I'm hoping that he does go. He said that he's got a fishing trip just prior and a fishing trip just after.
Yeah.
So that's like right in between. So I'm hoping to officially meet these guys there, and that'll be fun.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And have you heard of Blackie Thomas?
No, I haven't.
Okay, he's a bigger bushcrafter. He has like almost 100,000 subscribers. He's like knocking on the door of 100,000 right now.
Nice.
I text him as regularly as I can. There's another guy from Ohio, from Sam's neck of the woods, not quite the same area, but in the same state. The Prepared Wanderer. I used to have his number, but that guy moved, got divorced, and, restarted his whole life. So I just left him alone and then got a new phone and lost his number. So I still email him. But anyway, I text a few of the guys that I've gotten to know, and I message a lot of these guys through email, and it's just fun. I really enjoy it. I mean, Sam's not a bushcrafter.
No, he isn't.
Todd isn't, but that's not to say that they can't do those things.
Yeah, of course.
And Tony as well. But, we're all in the same community. That's kind of why I like the evolution title part of my name, because it's not just bushcraft for me. I do camping. I did that one stealth camp for Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's always advocating for mental health. And I said, you know what, Sam, you're a great guy. I want to do something for you. So my first official stealth camp, even though it was in my car, was at a mental health facility.
And how was that experience doing that?
It was actually, thinking about it was scary. Doing it was not. Once I was there, it was a lot busier than I thought it would be, because I didn't think about nurses or staff members coming in and out. So when I very first got there, I was by a dumpster. And if you watch the video, I show some guy running.
Okay.
And where he was running to the back of that building was where I was sitting in my car. So fortunately, I moved just before he started to run. But that was adjacent to the mental health facility, but it was next to a dumpster. So that was paying homage to Sam.
Yeah.
Next to a mental health facility and my first stealth camp. So it was a triple whammy for Sam.
Yeah.
But then I had to move away from the dumpster and went actually onto the property. And that was even better because I felt like that was more what the video was intended for.
Okay.
But I have a lot more stealth camps planned for this year.
Okay.
Next to hotels and busy interstates and a cell tower. I think it might be a radio tower. I'm not sure. But that's also next to an interstate. I've got some inner city parks. If you watch Small Plots with Kevin, he does a lot of city park stuff. And I'm trying to incorporate some of that into mine. But we don't have as much woods in the city that I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to be creative. And I want to add that to the channel. So that's why I said I like the evolution, because it started off just bushcraft. That was my whole
Yeah.
But I like camping, so I'm going to incorporate that. I like history.
Mm-hmm.
So I've incorporated the Townsends in some of our videos.
Okay.
And to me, that goes back to, I guess, when bushcraft was probably coined, the term would be back in those times where you lived off the land. You didn't have a choice. That was the way of life then. So we got the history aspect of it. I've got now stealth camping I want to do, family camps, but that's going to be more of like us building fires together. If we go take a nature walk, we can get like birch bark or cattails or whatever we can find from the land that we could build fires with and just show that type of stuff. So that's evolution, things evolving. So from what it originally was as bushcraft to camping, survival, all the stuff that it is today, that's kind of how I want our channel to be, is all outdoors or tinkering in the garage with, doing the coffee stuff that I like to do, because I love coffee. So eventually, if I could get to be where Todd is, even, I mean, he's at a couple thousand, but just not even a month ago, I think, or maybe a little more than a month ago, he was not half of that. So he's exploded. He's getting stuff sent to him now. I would love to have a coffee sponsor one day. I don't care about freebies necessarily. I don't even care about getting paid off of YouTube. This is fun. I really enjoy it.
It's really fun. Yeah, I get to meet people like you, talk that stuff.
Yeah, this is my first. Like Todd was saying, it was his first interview, and he's got that social anxiety stuff going on. So for him, I could only imagine him sweating bullets. But I mean, he had Sam there, he had you there, so that was just a couple of guys talking for him. So
I like to make my guests feel comfortable. So.
Well, I mean, you brought me into your bedroom. That's really comfortable.
Yes, it is. It is very comfortable.
Well, I when I first started, I felt like when you did YouTube videos, you had to be scripted. So if you watched my daughter of mine's first video, we're looking at her phone.
Yeah.
We took notes, and we thought that that's how you had to do it. And then I realized that's very uncomfortable. That's way more uncomfortable than just being yourself.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I literally turn on the camera, and I don't even know what I'm going to say half the time. I just wing it every single time. So, I mean, I have an idea. The idea is there, hey, I want to film a video about this, but I don't know what I'm going to say about it.
Yeah.
So,
for me, I have an idea of what to do, but I don't lay it out. I just go with the flow and see what happens.
It's more natural. I really enjoy that. And I don't care if I stumble over my own words. I don't care if I mispronounce something. That's being real. Just like Sam being a goofball behind the camera. That's Sam being real. That's why people love him. That's why he's surprised that he's hit over 20,000, but there's no surprise there, Sam. You are who you are.
I guarantee that guy's gonna get big. that guy's gonna get big.
He is. I keep telling him that every time we text. He questions, if what he's doing is correct or good, or what I think he should do. He's asking me, who's not even at 500 subscribers yet. As of me talking to you, I'm at 498. So I'm not even, I'm not even big. And here's a guy who's got 20,000 asking me for advice.
Yeah. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I just tell him, be you. just keep being Sam. That's
Yeah.
what people like. That's what people enjoy. And he, they say your biggest critic is yourself.
Yeah, it is.
And Sam, every time I talk to him, God love him, he's criticizing himself so much. I'm like, just be you, man. That's what they're not watching. I'd say this to him as well. I say, I'm not saying this, say your channel's not good, but they're not watching your videos because they want to see all of your ins and outs to your stealth camp. They're watching you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's something about his personality that people just gravitates to.
I mean, it's like even if you watch Steve is very monotone.
Oh yeah, Steve Wilkes.
Yeah. He's not. He don't have that excitement in his voice.
No.
He doesn't do anything crazy like cartwheels or
he does it himself. Yeah.
He's not wearing gold chains. He's not doing the stuff that Sam was doing. But Sam he's very much more extroverted than Steve. Steve just does it like, the camera's his best friend. He just wants somebody to talk to. And look at that guy. He's got over 1 million subscribers, I think. So
man, yeah, he does. He's almost at 2 million right now.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Almost 2 million. Yeah. So
it's like
that's just a guy in a camera, just stealth camping. So
and trying not to get caught.
Exactly. But I think
but Sam always gets caught.
Yes, he does. I think with Steve, I think he just hit the market at the right time.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, I think he did too.
Yeah, when he did that documentary, I don't think it was a big hit until after he became Steve Wallace, a stealth camper, and then he just exploded, and that thing got popular. And he's talked about doing another documentary, and I'm looking forward to that one. And I mean, those aren't fun videos necessarily. It's kind of long and drawn out, but I mean, they're still worth watching. And that's why I keep telling Sam, like, dude, people are watching you. They don't care about what,
what are you doing?
Yeah, they don't care about your 32-degree sleeping bag or whatever. They just care about you. Talk about your stuff, of course. Yeah. It tells people, what to buy, but that's not what they're there for. Ultimately, they're there for you.
But getting to the question, who was your big inspiration to do this on YouTube?
Well, what I tell people when I mentioned about me cutting my thumb almost off, I was watching Doug Linker. I was just a YouTuber, like not on camera, just a person who watched. Mm-hmm. And I loved watching carving videos. I loved anything that was, a man tinkering around. Not like with engines or anything. That stuff doesn't interest me. But anything that has to do with nature in any form, I guess. So even wood carving, because wood's from nature. It's calming. And I came across one of his first videos that really made him go viral, and that was just a carving like what they call a wood spirit. And so I tried it, fell in love with it, started buying all of the cool knives and stuff that you can get for carving. And my coolest one took my thumb off almost. But so after that happened, so I would say he's my inspiration to like getting into bushcraft because he's friends with Joe Robinette. Okay. Joe Robinette is a huge bushcrafter. And that's really where I found bushcraft. I started watching Joe Robinette's videos. I'm like, okay, this stuff is pretty cool. I never even thought about bushcraft. Beyond past camping, I didn't think anything else. So I started watching him. Then I found out about Dave Canterbury, Godfather, they say. And then that's when I got Wendell, I got Steve, I've got Tony. It started as wood carving. Got into bushcrafting, got into camping, got into stealth camping. So now pretty much everybody I'm subscribed to, mine is yours. Yours isn't stealth camping, but I have you now. Before that, I pretty much had everything you could imagine as a subscription, and now I've dwindled it down to, people that I talk to, people that I watch regularly, people that upload, because that's my entertainment. So I wouldn't say I have any one inspiration, but I would say because of me watching Doug Linker and carving, I found Bushcraft, and then it led me to where I am today. But I would say all of my Bushcraft friends and stealth campers and campers all rolled into one would be one solid inspiration, because I might be looking for an idea and maybe somebody's hit on an idea and I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, sure.
So,
and the final question is, where do you see your channel going from here?
well, if you ask Sam, I'm going to be big like him one day.
Okay. That's a good goal.
My goal just for this year is to hit 1,000. I'm not reaching for the stars, and I'm not trying to, get those unattainable goals. I don't want to set myself up for a number that I'm never going to reach and then be upset because I'm never there.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hit 500 last year, but I didn't get out as often as I wanted to. So, there's not as much for people to watch. So this year I've got lots to do and lots planned already. And I'm hoping to hit 1,000 just this year. And then if I hit 1,000 every year, I'm okay with that. If it takes me 20 years to hit 20,000, that's the only place I'm at, that's okay with me.
We will make that happen this year.
I'm hoping so.
We will. I'll do my best to help you reach 1,000 this year.
Any help I can get. Sam said the same thing. I was on one of his live streams one day, and he told all of his people, hey, go subscribe to this guy. I literally got like 12 subscribers that night just for people in his chat. Even Jessica, who says that she doesn't subscribe to many people, but Sam told her to, so she did. So that was very humbling to sit there on a live stream and see my counts go up. So that was pretty cool.
I was in the same boat as you in 2000. I want to say 2021. I only had about 385 subscribers back then. But when I did my live football thing, the big football YouTuber came onto my channel.
Nice.
And I was just saying that all of a sudden, all these people were coming in and messaging me. I'm like, what's going on? And that night, I actually reached 1,000 subscribers on that night.
That's awesome.
And still, I talked to that guy who helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get me more people to interview in the football world. So
yeah. I talked to Tony yesterday to see if he's going to do an interview with you.
Oh, yeah, he is. We are.
Yeah, he said he's just working on scheduling right now.
Yeah, we'll talk to each other and schedule something.
So I'm very, very humbled to be a part of your interviews, and I wish I could have done it last night, but things got chaotic. We went to,
no, don't worry. I totally understand. Family comes first.
Yeah, we went to Myrtle Beach. It was my first ocean experience, and all three of my daughter's first ocean experience, and I did the entire drive. So for us, it was, if you include our stops, it was like 14 hours one way.
Good God.
14 hours.
14-hour drive. 14-hour drive with 3 girls in the car.
Oh yeah.
I could not do that. I could not do that.
It was crazy. So we're still unpacking and still trying to get back to normal, but
you are my hero.
Well, thank you.
I can't even stand my niece in my car.
That's just one.
Yeah. I can't imagine 3 and a wife.
And they're all separated by 5 years each.
Yeah,
So there's a huge age gap there. And
yeah.
well, when we left out, it was 2:00 in the morning. When we drove there, it was 2:00 in the morning. So we got there in the afternoon, and that was good because, they slept for a lot of the drive.
Of
And
course,
when we
yeah.
got there, it was a beach. So naturally, we went to the beach right away. And it was
Yeah,
dark.
yeah, of course.
It was dark by the time we got settled into the hotel and got everything, organized and good to go. We went to the beach at night, still had fun. And then when we came back, it was afternoon and we got home in the morning. So we kind of reversed how we were doing things. And we didn't get home until like 3:30, 3:45. And it was a long, it felt longer coming home. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I have a 12-hour drive coming up too.
Yeah.
With my family, yeah.
Yeah, you said you were going on vacation. Where are you going?
Las Vegas.
Okay.
So.
One of the teachers I work with, she's from Vegas area.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be my brother, his wife, his child, me, and my parents.
Yeah, that's going to be a crowded car.
Yes, it is. I'm not looking forward to it.
I would just close my eyes, put in some earplugs.
Well, I told them, if I can't, I'll fly by myself. You guys can meet me there.
I'm flying the next time I have a 12-hour trip.
Yeah. I really do appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad it worked out and we finally got this done. I'm looking forward to another one. I mean, eventually, whenever. Maybe we can get a couple of us on here together.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about getting all you, Todd, Sam, and Tony on here at the same time so I could ask a group question.
That would be awesome.
So, yeah. But yeah, I really appreciate it. I don't want to take any more of your time.
Well, thank you, and enjoy your vacation. I hope that you have a lot of fun and don't spend all your money in Vegas.
Oh no,
maybe
win
some.
I'm not spending no money in Vegas. It's gonna get me in trouble.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I really appreciate it. I know if I can keep in contact with you, is that okay with you?
Absolutely, yeah. I got your number saved already, so.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for the time to interview and hear me out a little bit.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
It was definitely a good time. So I guess sooner than later we'll get to talk again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a safe trip, and I will talk to you soon then.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, Jay.
Bye. So, guys, yeah, that was my interview with the Bushcraft Evolution channel. If you like camping videos, go check his channel out. He sounds like he's a great guy, down to earth. So yeah, go check it out. And that is it for this interview. Like I always end all my videos is by saying stay safe, stay positive, and go Paco. And I'll see you next time. All right, guys.